What is up, YouTube? Back in Madden 23, today I'm going to be doing a Patrick Mahomes career simulation. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the channel. Currently sitting at 211 subscribers, on the road to 1,000 right now, so if you can, go ahead and help me with that. 89% of the people watching the videos are not subscribed to the channel, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You're already watching, it ain't gonna hurt to just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Patrick Mahomes is currently 26 years old. He has 5 years of experience, so technically in his 6th season right now. Still 26 years old, it's crazy, he's still so young, but he's already accomplished so much. He already had a 50 touchdown season in his first full season as a starter. This season he's having a great season again. It's pretty much expected of him. He's a 97 overall improviser scheme fit. He's playing up to a 98 overall. He has 97 throw power, 90 deep accuracy, 93 medium, 97 short, and 98 awareness with 99 throw on the run, 96 play action, 95 under pressure, and 88 break sack. He has 84 speed, 87 change of direction. Dude is a beast. Looking at his tags real quick, all he has is franchise QB, which is obviously the most important one as a quarterback. So what I'm going to do is we're going to follow the first or the next 5 seasons of his career, season by season, and then after that we're just going to simulate to the end of his career and see how many Super Bowls he wins, how many awards he wins, see if he stays with the Chiefs, if he signs to another team, or maybe they try to trade him. I'm going to let the computer handle everything that goes on, so they can decide who's going to get signed in free agency, who they draft, all that. I'm not controlling any of that. I'm letting the team do whatever they want to do. I started from week 10 with the realistic stats that Madden has in their Play Now feature, so I had to end up forcing wins and losses to make the record match to what it is currently, which is 9-3. And the AFC West, the standings are almost exactly the same as what they are in real life. The Raiders have one more loss than what they're supposed to, but that's what we're rolling with, and we're about to go to the end of the season and see what happens in the playoffs. End of the regular season, we finished 13-4, best record in AFC. Gonna get a first round bye week. Let's check out the season stats and see what Patrick Mahomes did. We got the #1 ranked offense in the entire NFL, number 25 on defense. Patrick Mahomes threw for 5,500 yards, 51 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 67% completion with the 112 rating. That's an insane season right there. 51 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. Ridiculous, Patrick Mahomes, even for you, man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran for 765 yards, 4.2 per carry with 5 touchdowns, and pretty much no one else did anything. Patrick Mahomes had 44 carries for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns on a 6-yard per carry average. Travis Kelce, 123 catches, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns. Juju Smith-Schuster, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, 900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney, coming over in the trade from the Giants, almost had 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. Defensively, Nick Bolton led the team in tackles with 129. Chris Jones had 18 tackles for loss, and he also had the most sacks on the team with 14. Interceptions, McDuffie, the rookie, had 2, and a few other guys had 1, so not really getting a lot of interceptions. Mahomes did lead the entire NFL in passing yards by almost 500. He had over 5,500, and Josh Allen had almost 5,100 in second place. And then also in passing touchdowns, he had 51, the most in the NFL. Josh Allen was second with 42, so he had 9 more than the second place guy. Simulated to the divisional round of the playoffs, we're going to be going against the 10-7 Miami Dolphins. On the other side, we have the Bills against the Ravens. Gonna simulate the game and see what happens. We ended up winning 45-21 against the Dolphins. We're playing against the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. They went 11-6 on the season. They knocked out the Bills 38-14. On the other side, we have the 49ers against the Packers. Gonna be simulating this AFC Conference Championship game against the Ravens. Can we get the win? And we win 24-20. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to be playing against the 10-7 San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. See, they beat the Giants 45-21, they beat the Cowboys 27-24, and then they beat the Packers 42-30. Here we are playing in the Super Bowl. We're up to a 3-0 lead in the first, 6-0 in the second, 6-3, it's all field goals. Finally scored a touchdown, up 13-10 in the second. Now the 49ers winning 24-13 in the third. 24-16, we need touchdowns, not field goals. Now we tied at 24 all in the fourth quarter. We're up 27-24 in the fourth, and it's tied 27 all. 49ers beat us 30-27. First year of the career sim, make it to the Super Bowl and lose it. 49ers beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 30-27 to win their 6th ever Super Bowl. Fred Warner won Super Bowl MVP with the Niners. Patrick Mahomes got him an MVP with the regular season. Robert Saleh won Coach of the Year with the Jets. Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year with the Rams. Von Miller won Defensive Player of the Year with the Bills. Garrett Wilson won Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Jets. And Aiden Hutchinson won Defensive Rookie of the Year with the Lions. Let the computer do all the free agent signing. They ended up bringing in Russell Gage at wide receiver. They brought in a corner. They brought in another wide receiver, Zach Pascal, a running back. They didn't make any like huge signings. All these guys are in the 70s overall. And then they ended up bringing in Cooper Rush and Taylor Heineke at quarterback. Competition for Patrick Mahomes. Let the computer do all the drafting, and they ended up drafting a left tackle in the first round. He's a 72 overall, but he does have hidden dev and he's a scheme fit, so the computer actually did pretty good there for pick number 31 in the first round. Second round, they drafted a defensive tackle, 70 overall. He does have hidden dev as well. There's only 2 hidden devs in the entire draft class. In the 5th round, they drafted this fullback, 73 overall, but he's already 24 years old. This is the starting lineup for the second season. Patrick Mahomes is up to a 99 X Factor. Travis Kelce's a 95 X Factor. The offensive line looks freaking ridiculous. They brought in Rivers in the draft starting at right tackle, 73 hidden dev rookie. Kadarius Toney is a 79 with star. Hartman's a 81 with star. Justin Gage is 78 with star. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is 80 with star dev. Defensively, Chris Jones is a 95 with X Factor. Pretty much all the same guys over here on the defense. McDuffie only has star dev. Carl Aftis has star dev. The linebackers are looking kind of weak on the outside. See how the season goes. Here at the midseason point, the Chiefs are off to a great start, 6-1, first in their division. The Chargers are 5-1, the Broncos are 3-4, the Raiders are 2-4. Simulating to the end of the season and see what happens in the playoffs. End of the regular season, finished 13-4, won the division, and got a first round bye week in the playoffs for the second season in a row. Out here straight balling. Check out the stats on the season. We had a 3rd ranked offense. Took a step back from being the number 1 ranked, which still, 3rd's awesome. Defense stepped up big though. We're at 9th on offense. Went from 25th last year to 9th this year. Patrick Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 72% completion with the 115 rating. He might win MVP again. That rating's higher than last year. I think it was like 112. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 1,000 yards, 4 yards per carry with 11 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns rushing. Samaje Perine had 12 rushing touchdowns as a backup. Travis Kelce, 105 catches, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. Russell Gage, almost 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney, 600 yards, 8 touchdowns. Defensively, Nick Bolton led the team in tackles with 112. Chris Jones and Frank Clark both had over 20 TFLs. Dang. Frank Clark led the team in sacks with 14. And Nick Bolton, the middle linebacker, had 5 interceptions. Nice. Looks like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen switched from last year. Josh Allen had 5,500 yards passing, and Patrick Mahomes had 5,027, so he was like 6th, I think. And then passing touchdowns, PJ Walker had 54 with the freaking Buccaneers. What the hell? 5,300 yards passing, 54 touchdowns, 19 interceptions with a 109 rating. Holy crap, PJ Walker went straight from the XFL to straight balling over here with the Buccaneers. That Buccaneers playbook's ridiculous. See, Patrick Mahomes had 37 passing touchdowns, so he's pretty much, I think, 8th. Wait, yeah, I think he's tied for 8th down here. PJ Walker threw the most interceptions. That's crazy, man. Going to be playing against division rival Los Angeles Chargers in the playoffs. We got 13-4 record, and they went 13-4 as well, so we're both pretty much evenly matched. And on the other side, we have the Bills against the Colts. We ended up beating the Chargers 28-17. I just simulated the game. This next week, we have the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship game. They went 11-6 on the year. They beat the Browns 21-14, and they beat the Bills 38-35 in a really close game. On the other side, we had the Commanders against the Panthers, number 6 seed against the number 7 seed. That's crazy. We ended up beating the Colts 38-22, and then the Commanders beat the Panthers, so we're going against the Washington Commanders in the Super Bowl. I've been noticing in the last, 7 or 8 rebuilds that I've done that the Commanders' offense has been like overpowered in Madden. I don't know, I guess it's the offense and the defense combined, but they always make it to like pretty deep in the playoffs, if not make it to the Super Bowl a lot in a lot of the simulations that I do. Playing in the second straight Super Bowl, we're up 7-0 in the first. We're up 14-0 in the second quarter. We're up 21-0 in the second. It looks like we're gonna get this by a mile. 24-0 in the third. 27-0. 34-0 in the third. Now the Commanders finally scored a touchdown. It's a blowout. We're up 40-7 in the fourth quarter. Final score 40-7.
Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
Stats from the Super Bowl: Patrick Mahomes had an insane game. He had a 106 rating with the 477 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jacoby Brissett is the quarterback for the Commanders. He had a bad game, 190 yards passing with 1 interception. Beat the Commanders in the Super Bowl 40-7. Like we saw, the Chiefs won their 3rd Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP. Josh Allen ended up winning MVP of the regular season with the Bills. Arthur Smith won Coach of the Year with the Falcons. Mike Evans won Offensive Player of the Year with the Buccaneers, with PJ Walker throwing him the ball. Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year with the Browns. Checking out the free agent recap, and apparently they didn't sign anybody at all in free agency, even though they got $26 million in cap room. I'm not sure what's going on, but checking out the draft recap, they ended up drafting a left tackle in the first round yet again. He's a 73 overall. He does have hidden depth, but he's not a scheme fit. In the second round, they drafted a right guard, 75 overall. He has hidden depth as well, and he's not a scheme fit once again. But yeah, they just keep prioritizing the offensive line. Apparently, they already have 5 starters, but they're like, you know what? Let's add 2 more so we can have 7 of them. We'll just put 7 offensive linemen out there for Patrick Mahomes. The rest of these guys, none of them had hidden depth. Here's the starting lineup for the 3rd season. Patrick Mahomes is at 99 X Factor. Kelsey's still at 93 X Factor. The offensive line already looks great, but they decided to draft 2 more guys in the 1st and 2nd round. Maybe they'll start trading some of them away. I don't know what they're going to do with that. So got Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back. He's 83. McCall Hartman's 83, wide receiver 1. Kadarius Toney's 81, and Gage is 80. Defensively, Chris Jones is only X Factor, 96 overall. This defensive tackle they drafted is playing up to a 76. He only has normal dev. Outside linebackers are the same. Well, I mean, pretty much everyone on the entire team is the same. We'll let them do whatever they want to do. McDuffie's at 81 with star dev. Sneed's at 85 with star dev. Here at the midseason point, off to a good start once again. 5-2, leading the division. The Raiders are 4-3. The Chargers are 3-4, and the Broncos are 3-4. Finished 12-5, won the division. The Raiders went 11-6. The Broncos and Chargers both went 6-11. Check out the season stats on the year. Number 2 ranked offense. I was gonna say second. Number 2nd ranked offense. Number 1 ranked defense. Very nice. Patrick Mahomes threw for 4,800 yards, 34 touchdowns, 13 interceptions with a 68% completion and a 106 passer rating. Pretty good season from him. Edwards-Helaire ended up getting a ton of carries. He had 300 carries for 1,195 yards, 4 yards per carry with 15 touchdowns. Pretty good production from him. Travis Kelce had over 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Russell Gage, almost 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney, almost 1,000 yards with 8 touchdowns. McCall Hartman, almost 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns. Defensively, Nick Bolton led the team in tackles with 97. Chris Jones had the most TFLs with 12. And he also had the most sacks with 10. Interceptions, we had a bunch of guys get a good amount here. Sneed had 3. Reed had 3. Bolton had 2. McDuffie, Thornhill, and Williams had 2. We're going to be playing against the 8-9 Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we also had the Bengals against the Ravens, the Bills against the Raiders, and then the Titans ended up getting a 1st round bye week. Beat the Steelers 21-10, going against the 11-6 Bengals in the next round of the playoffs. We also have the Raiders against the Titans on the other side. Ended up beating the Bengals 31-23, and now we're going against the Las Vegas Raiders in the AFC Conference Championship game. They went 11-6 on the year. They beat the Bills, nice, 26-20, and they beat the Titans, dang, 34-13. So they had a pretty rough schedule all the way here, but now they're about to play against the Chiefs. On the other side, we got a classic 49ers against the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. Ended up beating the Raiders 21-18. Gonna be going against the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. They beat the Falcons, they beat the Giants, and they beat the 49ers. I forgot to look at the season stat leaders for passing to see where Mahomes was, but Jacoby Brissett ended up leading the league in passing yards with the Commanders. Tom Brady's playing for the Falcons now, threw for 5,100 yards. But Mahomes is way down here with 4,800, and then touchdowns, Mahomes had 34, but Tom Brady led the league with 48. A rookie quarterback for the Titans had 44. Curious to see where PJ Walker is at. Oh, here he is. He threw 34 touchdowns. He still had a pretty decent season with a 100 rating. It's crazy that he's there. We got Patrick Mahomes threw 34 as well. Playing in the Super Bowl for the third year in a row, Dallas jumps up to a 3-0 lead. We jump up 7-3 in the second. 10-3 in the second quarter. We're still winning. It's tied 10-10. Now we're losing 13-10. Now it's 17-13. We're winning in the fourth. Now the Cowboys jump up 27-17 in the fourth. 27-20. We're down by 7. Now we're down by 10, and the Cowboys beat us. Made it to 3 Super Bowls in a row and lost 2 of them. It looks like we're playing in Dallas too. So Dallas won the Super Bowl in Dallas. The world will go insane if that happened. Cowboys won the Super Bowl 30-20 to win their 6th Super Bowl, and Dak Prescott won Super Bowl MVP. Josh Allen won back-to-back regular season MVPs with the Bills. Nick Sirianni won Coach of the Year with the Eagles. Saquon Barkley won Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Giants. I've never seen that before. Nick Bosa won Defensive Player of the Year with the Giants as well. And checking out the free agent recap, and they did not sign anybody at all. I don't know what's going on, because I know the first year we did it, they ended up signing a whole bunch of guys. So I have it all set to auto. I know for sure I double checked it like 67 times. And they got 37 million in cap space, so I guess they're like, well, we made it to 3 Super Bowls in a row. We don't really need to re-sign or to bring anybody else in. I guess, I don't know. Checking out the draft recap, they ended up drafting an outside linebacker in the first round. He's a 74 overall. He does have hidden dev. He's not a scheme fit. He's a run stopper. Their scheme is supposed to be pass coverage. But at least they're finally trying to get something going with the outside linebackers. And in the second round, they drafted this cornerback. He's a 76 overall. He does not have hidden dev, but that's a pretty good pick, though. And then I think it was the 4th round, they drafted this receiver, Abdul Kerr from Texas. He's only a 70 overall, but he does have hidden dev, though. He's a small guy, 5'9", 193 pounds. Checking out the draft recap for the entire NFL, and the highest overall was an 85 overall wide receiver drafted by the Vikings. So do they have a Randy Moss over here, reincarnated? 6'6", 228 pounds. What the heck? 96 speed. Dang, this dude is definitely generational. What the heck? That's freaking insane, man. And then the second highest was still an 83 overall cornerback that went to the Lions with 96 speed also. I've been looking at all the draft classes. I haven't really been showing them because I don't really want to, show them unless there's like some insane stuff happening. I was curious to see what the dev trait was for that Minnesota Vikings wide receiver, and he does have the X factor. So what the starting lineup looks like for the beginning of season 4, Patrick Mahomes is a 98 overall X factor. Edwards-Helaire is an 85 with star dev. Hartman's an 85. Tony's an 83. Gage is an 80. Offensive line still looks freaking crazy, and they still have these 2 guys that's just backups, a 79 and a 78 overall. I guess I don't want to trade them or trade other guys and replace them, but Travis Kelce's an 88 with X Factor. Defensively, they got this rookie linebacker, 75 with hidden dev. Nick Bolton's an 89 with star dev. Justin Reed's an 85 with star. McDuffie's an 84. Carl Laftis is an 82. Chris Jones still has X Factor with 96. Snead is an 87 with star dev. Here at the midseason point, not off to a great start at all. We're 2-4. The Chargers are 5-2. The Raiders are 4-3, and the Broncos are 1-6. Hopefully we can turn things around and get into the playoffs again. Into the regular season, finished 8-9. Missed the playoffs for the first time in this career simulation of Patrick Mahomes. Let's check out the player stats here. We had the 8th ranked offense. Patrick Mahomes looks like he still had a pretty good year. 2nd in passing yards, 14th on defense. Patrick Mahomes threw 5,100 yards, 39 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 70% completion with a 109 rating. Still a great season from him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 730 yards rushing, 3.6 per carry is pretty bad with 10 touchdowns. Looks like they need some help on the run game. Receiving, Russell Gage led the team with 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Travis Kelce had 100 catches for 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney and Hartman both almost had 1,000 yards is what I was trying to say. Defensively, Nick Bolton led the team in tackles once again with 104. Chris Jones had 14 TFLs and 11 sacks. And L'Jarius Sneed had 2 interceptions and 3 other guys had 1, so there's barely any interceptions at all this year. Patrick Mahomes had the 2nd most passing yards with 5,100 to Dak Prescott, who had 5,400. He had 39 passing touchdowns, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on passing touchdowns. Tom Brady plays for the Chargers now. He's just 1 year in it everywhere that he goes. Ravens beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl 38-35 to win their 3rd ever Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson won Super Bowl MVP. Josh Allen won MVP of the regular season with the Bills yet again. Mike McCarthy won Coach of the Year with the Cowboys. Keenan Allen won Offensive Player of the Year with the Chargers. Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year with the Browns. I ended up simulating past all the free agency stuff to see if that helps them actually sign some players, since they didn't sign anybody when I was doing it week by week. The only thing is that once you simulate to the draft, it won't let you see the free agency recap. So I haven't checked to see if they signed anybody. I just went ahead and simulated the draft. They drafted, it looks like they got Travis Kelce's replacement in the first round, tight end, 75 overall. He has 85 speed and he has hidden depth, 21 years old. They drafted a quarterback in the second round. He's only a 66 overall. But he does have hidden depth, and he's 23 years old from Harvard. Third round, they drafted a running back, 73 overall with hidden depth, 6 foot, 233 pounds. Highest overall in the entire draft class was 86 overall wide receiver. That went number 1 to the Denver Broncos. So apparently they have another generational wide receiver coming out. He's 6'4", 232 pounds with hidden depth. He has 96 speed. Dang. He has superstar X Factor. This is what the team is looking like for the start of the 5th season. This is going to be the last season that I do this year by year, where I'm showing everything. After this, I'm going to end up simulating to the end of his career until he retires, and then we'll go back and look at what he did for his career. He's at 99 overall X Factor. It looks like they did actually sign some free agents, because they got Robinson here, Brian Robinson. Hilaire's up to 87 with Star. Hartman's at 87. Tony's at 85. They got Romeo Doubs. Travis Kelce's down to 86, still has X Factor, and they got his replacement waiting behind him. Defensively, they brought in Sam Williams from the Cowboys, so yeah, they actually did sign some free agents this time. But Chris Jones still has X Factor. That outside linebacker they drafted only has normal depth. But I mean, overall, the defense doesn't look too bad at all. At the midseason point, off to a pretty good start, 6-1, and we're leading the division. The Chargers are 3-4, the Raiders are 3-4, and the Broncos are 2-5. Into the regular season, we finished 13-4, won the division. Looks like we're going to be playing against the Bills in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card, so that's going to be a crazy game. Checking out the players' stats, we were at 3rd-ranked offense. Defensively, we were ranked number 4, so we had a pretty good bounce back year. Patrick Mahomes threw 4,800 yards, 45 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 69% completion with the 111 rating. Pretty freaking good production right there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a bounce back season, 1,100 yards, 4.7 per carry with 6 touchdowns. Brian Robinson had 8 touchdowns as a backup running back. Mecole Hardman had the most receiving yards with 1,109. 9 touchdowns. Travis Kelce 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs 900 yards, 8 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney 700 yards, 11 touchdowns. Nick Bolton led the team in tackles with 106. Chris Jones had 13 TFLs and 11.5 sacks. Sam Williams had 6. Free agency pickup. Kashawn Sneed, a cornerback they drafted like 2 years ago, had 3 interceptions. McClendon had 2, and the Jarius Sneed had 2, and a few other guys had 1. We're going to be going against the 11-6 Bills in the first round. We also have the Bengals against the Steelers, the Jaguars against the Browns, and then the Dolphins had a first round bye week. We ended up beating the Bills 38-31. We're going to be going against the 9-8 Jaguars in the next round of the playoffs. On the other side, we have the Dolphins against the Steelers. The Jaguars beat the Browns 42-35. We ended up beating the Jaguars 19-13, going against the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Conference Championship game. On the NFC side, we got the Panthers against the Giants. We did end up beating the Steelers 31-13, so we're going to our 4th Super Bowl in 5 years, and we're going to be playing against the Giants. The Giants beat the Buccaneers 43-14. They beat the Cowboys 42-30, and then they barely beat the Panthers 38-32. Playing in the Super Bowl once again, we're up 7-0 in the first quarter. We're up 10-0 in the second quarter. 10-3. We're up 13-3 in the second. We're up 27-3 in the third. Now in the fourth, we're up 27-11. Now 30-11. It looks like we're gonna get us a win here. 40-18. 30-18. Won the Super Bowl for the second time in 5 years. Off of 4 appearances. Chiefs beat the Giants in the Super Bowl 30-18 to win their 4th Super Bowl. Trent McDuffie, the cornerback, won Super Bowl MVP. Tua won MVP of the regular season with the Dolphins. Zach Taylor won Coach of the Year with the Bengals. Cooper Kupp won Offensive Player of the Year with the Rams. And Nick Bosa won Defensive Player of the Year with the Giants again. I'm I'm here in the year 2028, which is I think the 7th season, and he ended up signing a 3-year extension to stay with the Chiefs. So I just wanted to show that to let y'all know that he ended up staying with the Chiefs for 3 more years. Just doing a quick check-in. He's still a 99 overall X Factor. He's 34 years old. His contract was about to run out, so I decided to come and check and see. He's still with the Chiefs, and he signed another extension, so he's gonna be there for another 2 years at $48 million per year. 2034, he's currently 38 years old, and as you can see, he has signed a deal with the Commanders. He's been with the Chiefs his entire career, but he decided to leave them and go to the Commanders, or they decided not to sign him, whatever. He's at 89 overall, still has an X Factor. It's a 1-year deal for $40 million. So after 19 years in the league, in the year 2035, Patrick Mahomes has finally retired from the NFL after playing 2 seasons with the Washington Commanders. Number 1 on the all-time legacy leaderboard with 59,000 points, and he also had 3 Super Bowl wins, which, you know, he had 1 in real life and then 2 whenever we were doing the first 5 years. He had 6 championships and he won 17 yearly awards. Joe Burrow's in second with 47,000. Tom Brady's in third with 47,000. He retired at the age of 40, 19 years in. He's still at 83 overall with X Factor. Let's check out his stats for his entire career. So he pretty much had the 2 worst seasons with the Washington Commanders with a below 100 quarterback rating. Still threw for over 4,000 yards though. But as you can see, he had a lot of amazing seasons. That was the first year that we simulated. It was he had 51 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 112 rating. See what his highest overall rating was. 116 in the year 2029. Most yards he threw for was 5,566 in 2022. 55 touchdowns in 2028 was the most that he ever threw. Most interceptions he ever threw was 16 in 2028, and the least amount he threw in an entire season was 5. See what his awards are looking like. He had 11 Pro Bowl appearances. He led the league in passer rating twice. He won MVP in 2018 and 2022. And 2029 he won MVP, so he had 3 MVPs. He won Offensive Player of the Year in 2022. Best quarterback in 2022 and 2029. So 3 MVPs, 2 times would lead in the league in passer rating, and 11 Pro Bowl appearances. Pretty good from the boy. Looking at the NFL records to see where he is on here. For 1 game, he actually holds the record for most passing yards. In 2025, he threw 564 yards in 1 game. And that's the only one that's on here of him. Passing touchdowns in a game, doesn't look like he's on here. 7 is the most. 1 season passing yards, he had the 3rd most with 5,500 in 2022. And then he had another 5,370 yards in 2029. PJ Walker's up here. He would be. Did we look at touchdowns? Passing touchdowns. He had the 2nd most, actually tied for 1st with Peyton Manning for 55 in 1 season, and then 51 in 1 season. And then he had 50 in 1 season, so he's on there 3 times. And let's look at the career yards. He finished 2nd with 87,000 yards to Tom Brady, who has 104,000. Passing touchdowns in a career, he finished 2nd to Tom Brady. He has 779. Patrick Mahomes has 722. And then 3rd place is a big drop off. Joe Burrow, 587. I'm going to be doing more career simulations like this in the future, and I'm going to figure out what the best format is. If you have any suggestions on, you know, what y'all want to see or what y'all don't want to see for these full career simulations, you know, it takes a long time to do these type of videos because you have to go through and simulate pretty much year by year to make sure that they don't retire. But that's going to be it for the video. If y'all like what y'all saw, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, say something down in the comments. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers right now, so if you can help me get there, I would greatly appreciate it. Appreciate everyone for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.